baked lasagna rolls, and a cookware review from Better Homes and Gardens coming up on Cooking with Carolyn. All right, so first of all, let me tell you about some of the ingredients that's going to go on our baked lasagna rolls. We're using some Italian sweet chicken sausage, which is lower in fat. And you can also, if you have it in your local grocery store, Italian sweet chicken sausage, or I'm sorry, Italian turkey sausage would be great if you can find that also. So either one would do. We're going to saute off some onions and some garlic with that. And then our surprise ingredient, instead of spinach, which is good and full of vitamins and minerals, I'm going to go with frozen turnip greens because it gives it a little twist. And I actually love the taste. And this is another way to get vegetables into your kids. And then, of course, in our mixture, also we're going to have some ricotta cheese, and then lots of spices and flavoring, of course, Grand Diamond seasoning going in. So first, let's get our onions down and soften those up. Let's go ahead and put our onions down. We're going to saute these off for about 2 to 3 minutes or until they're soft. You don't want to add your garlic right away because you don't want it to burn. And I have the heat over about medium high. Now we're going to put in our garlic, 2 to 3 cloves, and now down with our chicken sausage. This is a 1 pound of chicken sausage, Italian chicken sausage. Just break it up. Let's go over to our bowl and drop it in. We're going to go back to the stove with it and saute off our greens. So while my greens, I'm just going to let the greens hang out for about 3-4 more minutes because they take about 5 to 8 minutes or so. In the meantime, while I'm over here, I'm just going to go ahead and drop some more pasta noodles or lasagna noodles because we're going to need some more to work with. Okay. And make sure when you're boiling your pasta, be sure to salt your water because that's the only time you have or the only chance to season your pasta. And all I did with the greens, this is a 1 pound bag. All I did with them is drain them really well and then squeeze all the excess water out. And once you do that, you end up with about 2 cups. I also season these with a little bit of Grand Diamond seasoning, a couple of teaspoons. I also put in here some nutmeg. Nutmeg, after I started putting them in greens, like my mustard greens or turnip greens and spinach, it really does make a little bit of a difference. Not that you're shooting for your greens to taste like a pastry, but it does take that little bit of an edge off. So that's a good trick. Okay, these are done. I'm gonna turn these off and bring them over to my bowl where my chicken is waiting for me. My Italian seasoned chicken. Okay, now I need to let this cool off just a little bit, and I'm going to add the ricotta cheese, a little bit more seasonings, and an egg, and we'll be ready to roll our pasta. So our Italian chicken sausage and our turnip greens are cool enough to go ahead and add our ricotta cheese. Just making that filling for these lasagna rolls. And I'm going to spice this up a little bit with some dried oregano and dried thyme. Okay. When you're going from fresh to dried herbs, use half of the amount when you go to dried herbs. So if the recipe calls for a tablespoon of regular oregano, you want to use 1.5 teaspoons of dried oregano. All right, because dried herbs are very potent. Okay. And then I'm going to also, you want to season this really well because once you start to roll, it's kind of hard. You can't go back. So I'm going to add a little bit more Grand Diamond seasoning, maybe about 1/2 teaspoon. Okay, and then I'm going to beat a couple of eggs, and all that does is help the ricotta cheese and the greens to stay light. Your mixture isn't that dense once you bake it off. I'm going to give this a whisk. And before I actually put these eggs in here, I'm going to give this mixture a taste. Especially if you got a thing about tasting raw eggs. Just hold on just a minute. I'm going to get a spoon. I'm going to taste this mixture and see if I got my seasonings where I want it to be. So I got my seasoning up to where I want it. Just add a little bit of more kosher salt and some more Grand Diamond seasoning. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop the eggs. Okay. All right, I'll just kind of fold those in. The plate next to me here, I'm just going to use that to lay out each lasagna noodle and roll them up. Okay. This spatula is kind of small for me today. I need a bigger one. So here are some of the lasagna noodles that I did earlier. And if you do them ahead of time, the only thing I did was just put a little bit of olive oil in between each one so that they're easy to work with. Okay? So let me show you how to do a couple. This end, you see it's a little bit torn right here. That's okay, don't panic. We're just going to take a little bit of the mixture. Okay? Spread your mixture out. Right along the lasagna noodle. Okay? And then we're just going to roll it up from this end. And if you see it start to come out, don't worry about it. There you go. That's one. Let's do our second one. Talk about a good way to get vegetables into your kids. And the sauce is even better because I'm using my chunky marinara that I'll put the recipe in the info box for you so you can go straight to the recipe. Give you the link. Okay, there you go. I'm just going to finish up the rest of these and then we're going to sauce them and put them in the oven. So for the sauce, we're using my chunky marinara sauce recipe. And this is my recipe that has all the vegetables I could possibly think of that I like to put in this sauce. So I have zucchini, summer squash, and carrots, and bell peppers, and red peppers in here with tomatoes just cooked down and made into a thick sauce. The recipe makes 2 quarts, and what I did is just freeze it in 2 1-quart bags. And then I just pulled this out for this recipe out of my freezer. And that's what you could do if you make the sauce ahead of time. Then that way you have some of these components of this recipe already done. Okay. Also, what I did in my baking dish was I put some of the sauce on the bottom and then nestled the lasagna rolls right inside, so that way they can bake on the top and on the bottom. Also, the lasagna noodles, I cooked them just about 1 minute short of the cooking time because they're going to cook again in the oven. So we're just going to pour that right on top, just like that. This recipe makes about 12 rolls if you put about a 1/4 cup of filling in each one. Okay. And then I'm going to top it with some fresh mozzarella cheese. Just make sure the ends are nice and covered. All right. Take some of my fresh mozzarella. I already sliced it. And what it starts to do is just kind of, the fresh mozzarella kind of already just kind of starts to melt as you go. I'm just going to ladle that right on the top here, or lay it right here on the top. Go. On the other side. I made these for my sister about a week ago. She doesn't care what I cook. She just wants to come over and eat. What are you cooking? Lasagna rolls. I'm coming over. So, well, first she always asks me, did you cook enough for 2 people? Because she knows I'm really efficient at cooking for 1. Okay, I think I'm going to put one more back here. Also, what I did to the pan is I just lined it a little bit with some olive oil, just so things don't stick together. We're gonna go in a 375-degree oven for about 20-25 minutes. We'll give it a check. So let's see if our lasagna rolls are ready. And they are. Cheese is bubbling. Oh, wow. Go. See what we got here. If I can get one out of here. There she goes. Man, and the cheese keeps on coming, huh? Wow. So the folks at Better Homes and Gardens sent us a set of cookware, and it's called the tri-ply clad stainless steel cookware. So I'm gonna start over here on this end talking about our skillets. It's a 10-piece set, and it comes with an 8-inch and a 10-inch skillet, which is good for sauteing either your small jobs like onions and garlic, and if you want to have your nice basis for sauce, these are really good. Some of the features of this cookware that I particularly enjoyed were the fact that it is good on a gas stove or an electric stove, and it also says it can be used on a ceramic stove. So it's a really good conductor of heat, being stainless steel and tri-ply clad. All right. One of the things I look for when I'm shopping for cookware is the way the handle is riveted to the saucepan or the skillet. When the handle is too close to the skillet or the saucepan, that means the potential for the handle to get hot is greater. And the way these are, it's really good because I cooked in these for a few weeks and the handle didn't get hot when it was on the stove. So I appreciated that about this cookware. And this is, remember, the 8 and the 10-inch skillets. All right. Now over here is the 3-quart deep skillet with a lid. And the other thing about this is it has peekaboo lids, or I like to have them the glass lids, so that you can see the cooking process as it goes on, necessarily without lifting the lid. So it's really deep, and this is a 3-quart deep saucepan so that you can cook your sauces. You saw me earlier in this show use it to brown up my meat and my onions and my greens for the baked lasagna rolls. Right? Now moving on to our saucepans from our skillets. I have right here the 1.5-quart saucepan, which is really good for quick heating. And once again, the handle is really good to hold. And you know what? This cookware is not too heavy. It has a good weight to it, but it's not too heavy to where it'll have a beginning cook feeling nervous about using the cookware. It's really durable, and I like that. Also, here is the 3-quart saucepan with a glass lid also that it comes with. Really good for sauces. I heated up the chunky marinara sauce in this saucepan so that we can ladle over our lasagna rolls. And then finally, on this set is the 6-quart Dutch oven with a lid, which is really nice for soup, stews, and sauces. And earlier I boiled the noodles in here for the lasagna noodles, so that it can have plenty of space. I did the lasagna noodles in 2 batches, so that made it a little easier for me. Okay, so this is a great set. You can check it out. Check the info box for the information. I'm going to give you the link. And this set, once again, is from Better Homes and Gardens, and it's the tri-ply clad stainless steel cookware set. Thanks for joining me today. For this recipe and more, go to gdseasoning.com, rate, comment, and subscribe, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Don't forget also, Grand Diamond All-Purpose Seasoning is now being carried in the LA area at Vicente Foods in Brentwood and Bob's Market in Santa Monica, California. I'll see you guys next time.